Hey y'all, on our farm we seem to have some sort of equipment failure nearly every week, sometimes daily. And it could be on tractors, it could be on lawnmowers, it could be on chainsaws, weed eaters, etc. In today's video, I'm going to show you the easiest way that I've found to repair weed eaters, trimmers, pole saws, anything like that that's got a small carburetor. But today we're going to actually work on a weed eater, but everything applies. For me, it's the simplest, easiest way to fix them. And so what I'm fixing to show you applies to all of them. What I have here is an Echo GT 225 weed eater. And what's happened to it is I wasn't able to get any prime when I would prime the bulb. It just doesn't prime up. Typically, there's a couple different things that can happen. It'd be that these lines have shrank and it's not allowing the tank to pressure up. That could be one thing. Or it could have something got by a filter inside there and it's causing it not to not to go through the carburetor. So the simplest thing that I found is we're going to take it off, and I'm going to show you, is to replace it, the whole thing. I got this kit right here from Amazon. You can get them on eBay, Amazon. It's got primer bulbs, two primer bulbs, two filters. It's got all the fuel, the filter there, all the intake, outtake, all the lines, pressure line, the carburetor. It's got it all, and you can get them for $12 to $15. And so if you have any kind of mechanical ability, this is the way to go. Taking them apart and trying to fix them, man, I'll tell you, that can make you want to pull all the rest of your hair out if you got any. I'm going to get to it. I'm going to show you how I do this real quick. Okay, the first thing I'm going to want to do, I hope we got enough light. So I'm going to take the air filter part off. You can see this weed eater, I mean, it's dirty. I mean, it's filthy inside there. Look at that filter, it's nasty, it needs a repair. Most times, if that primer bulb doesn't prime up, or it's real dark and hard, that it could be the primer bulb is cracked, or it could be all of it together. I went ahead and bought a primer bulb. It was cheap, like $1.50 or something like that, just to see if that was going to fix it, and it didn't. So I went ahead and bought the whole kit, and I know that I don't want to take it apart, and I don't want to go through there and get new little diaphragm things that make it run. I don't know. There's all kinds of little crap in there that I don't know what it is, and I don't have time to learn because I've got work to do. We've got things that need to be done out here. One of the first things I want to do is I want to try to clean this up somewhat, just so that it doesn't get all inside where I'm going to mount that other one on there. I've got some, let's see, I've got some super clean stuff here, little degreaser. I'm going to squirt it on there, and then I keep always any old toothbrushes, after I've used them up, I keep those just for this particular reason. There's always something you need to clean off, and then I always keep any spare t-shirts, stuff like that, socks, I keep all that stuff instead of throwing it away. I keep it until I can't use it no more. I'm just going to spray it all down right in here, try to get it dissolving a little bit, just so that we don't add a whole lot of extra yuck inside there. We don't want that. Matter of fact, one of the other things I'm going to do is I'm going to let this soak up just a little bit while I do that. I'm going to spray it on, and then I'm going to go ahead and drain this tank. I've got fresh gas in it. If you don't have any fresh gas in yours, you've let it set up, you don't have to let it set very long either. If you've let it set up a couple of weeks or a month, sometimes your gas can it can get messed up and it just doesn't want to run right. So, but I've got fresh gas in here. I've got a small blueberry bucket that I'm going to pour it into, and that way I don't have to worry about gasoline, and I can use it over. And I'll let that little degreaser stuff do its job. Uh-oh, that ain't gonna work. Filling the lid up. Wash all the dirt in there. Gasoline's too high to be just wasting it, so unless it's bad. Now I'm gonna I got an old rag, another old shirt here. I'm gonna start wiping some of this main stuff off. Just trying to get it to where you don't get it inside there when you take it apart. This stuff has got such little holes going in and out, places. You don't want to get it in here because it'll suck up inside there. I use with my little brush here a little bit more. I'm clean it up just a little bit. I don't want stuff getting all in the tank either when I take this grommet out that has all that stuff on it. So I'm gonna clean around that pretty good. And you see that degreaser, man, it really makes that stuff, that's just sand and dust and just grease, oil, everything from using this thing. If you have anything that you use, mechanical or not, if you use it, it's going to break and it's going to wear out. And I'll tell you, you don't even have to use it for it to break. I can't tell you the amount of stuff that I've used one day and then come out the next day and it's broke, and I don't even know how it breaks overnight. But it will. So make sure the tank's clean around there where that's going to come off. That's pretty, even though you're going to have a filter in there, you don't want a bunch of junk inside your tank. All right, this little bit here is a T27. I just leave it in here. It can't, I had it in an old toolkit, it lost pieces too or something, so I keep it in this, and that's what fits these little bolts in here. Now, other weed eaters, chainsaws, pole saws, whatever, may have a different size, so you just have to figure out that part. These sit around for a few days and think some little dirt dauber or something clogs the end of them up. They work fast. They'll clog your air hose up in a day or so too. 10 or 15 years ago, I was repairing all these by taking them apart, trying to spray WD-40 or something like that in them, you know, and just taking forever to get everything apart and try to get it back together, and then it wouldn't run after you get finished. I decided, once I found these carburetors so daggum cheap, you know, 12 or 15 bucks, golly, I mean, you can't take it to nowhere and fix one for that. There's nobody gonna work on one that cheap. This is a little 10 millimeter right here on this side, on this particular weed eater. I'm gonna just loosen it up so we can get this out of here, like that. Now then, we're going to take this grommet out of here. I may need a screwdriver, I don't know. Yeah, look at there, it was busted right there on the bottom, that line was. And that may or may not have been part of the issue, I don't know. The whole filter's broke off in there, looks like. Normally, if it gets to where that primer bulb's nasty and dark, you might as well just change the whole thing. This is a little gasket here. I'm going to get it off. I'm going to clean that off real nice and easy. We don't want nothing getting in there. Now this thing comes with everything. Look at that. I mean, it's got everything you need, a double. I mean, it's got 2 primer bulbs in case your other one wears out. Try to make sure you got a clean space where you're working. You don't want to dirty it all back up again. I've done that. I'm not going to use that one primer bulb or that spark plug just yet because I think that it's okay. Keep your hands clean. Those little old bitty things, you don't want to put it all together and then it don't work because you got some piece of sand in something. Okay, now that we got now that we have the line and everything in there and the grommet all placed in there, we're going to put this gasket right back on there. And then we're going to put our other carburetor on there. Get my carburetor. It's going to go on the back side of it, in between the carburetor and the little block here. Take my choke plate. Let's try to get this other thing on here first. I'm going to take this, get this kind of lined up. I think it's lined up somewhat. We'll just kind of snug it up a little bit. choke plate, stick it back on there. Make sure it goes through the right holes here. Line her up on the block. Tighten it back up. Not too tight, you don't want to overdo it in aluminum. Now we're going to cinch this back up a little bit right here. The throttle cable, just tighten it a little bit. That's plastic, you don't want to break it. Okay. Now your little breather, it'll go right here tucked in behind this. Just in where the pull rope is there. The black line here will go up on that right side. The yellow one will go here on this left side. And there you got it. It's just that simple. I mean, it's a whole lot cheaper than taking it to somebody and letting them fix it. It takes you 30 minutes maybe to get it apart and get it back together at the most. You know, if yours is filthy like mine, it'll take you a little longer because you got to make sure that you don't get a lot of dirt and stuff in there. I'm going to put some gas in it, see if it won't work. Now, before I get it all together, got a little gas in there. You make sure your deal's on start. Mine's broke off. Start priming here. Here it comes. Here comes the gas. Give it a couple. Pull it down just a hair. And there you have it. Whole lot cheaper, whole lot easier. Don't worry about taking them apart. Get you one for 12 or 15 bucks off eBay, Amazon, whatever your engine size is, and get back to work and save yourself a lot of money. I appreciate you joining me. We'll see you on the next one.